ठीक है, मैं स्क्रीन शेयर करती हूँ। So today we are doing origin of psychology. अब this chapter is pretty concise. It is pretty small. एक minute. Somebody has just joined in. Let me. Did someone join in? No. Yes. Okay. All right. Hmm. So origin of psychology. This chapter is pretty concise. एंड मैं आपको एक हाईलाइट दे देती हूँ पहले से ही। आपने इसमें देखा होगा द नेचर एंड कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ बिहेवियर, दिस पार्ट इज ओनली गिवन इन आर मटेरियल, इन इग्नो मटेरियल। अपार्ट फ्रॉम आर मटेरियल इट इज, you know, you won't be able to find it in any other books. The definitions of course and history, it is pretty elaborate in other books, but you won't be able to get this part, so I would advise you to focus on it and try to understand it as much as possible. This part is not that easily available. And psychology, huh, if anybody would want to read the ncrt, you should go for it. That is also, it is very condensed and it is very dense in material, but it will help you a lot supplementing this material that we already have. It is going to help you. Now the first person who was going to read, wait, let me see. Ishwari, is she here? Then Madhu, you should start reading the introduction part.
Psychology is concerned with almost all aspects of our lives. The field of psychology deals with behavioral aspects of human being, and that is probably the reason why everyone is interested to know about psychology. One, on the other hand, there are many misconceptions about psychology. Also, many people think that psychology deals with dealing of abnormal people only. Some other feels the psychologist can read your mind just by looking at you or your face or head. They tend to equate psychologists with astrologers, gemologists, and numerologists, plamists, and graphologists who claim to solve your problem of life and predict your future. You might have heard the term psychology, psychological, mental, etc. But do you know what is the meaning of psychology and how did it evolve? Is psychology a science or art? What is science and what are its characteristics? What is subject matter of psychology? In this chapter you will find to these and many more such questions. By studying psychology, you will be able to understand what psychology is and what is not. This unit introduces the subject of psychology. Now, slide.
Yeah, just a minute. अभी पहले इसका इंट्रोडक्टरी पार्ट जो है, इसको मैं थोड़ा सा बता देती हूँ आपको, क्या है साइकोलॉजी का मतलब क्या होता है। ऑल्दो वी ऑल थिंक कि वी ऑल कंसिडर आवरसेल्व्स साइकोलॉजिस्ट इन सम वे, कि हमें पता चल जाता है कि दूसरा क्या सोच रहा है। दिस इज द वेरी कॉमन एक्सपीरियंस कि वी नो what the other person is thinking, and mostly people want to study psychology for this reason only, कि we'll get to know what the other person is thinking about us, or maybe thinking generally. लेकिन that is not what psychology is. Psychology is very scientific, and that means we need to observe phenomenon, and we systematically organize those observations, and then we come up with certain results, and those results will help us predicting behavior. Very important point, okay? Predicting behavior मतलब बिहेवियर के होने से पहले हमें उसका अंदाजा लग जाए, हमें उसका पता चल जाए। दैट इज द रूल्स दैट वी फॉर्म इन साइकोलॉजी। लेकिन जो जनरल हमारा, जो हमने बना रखा है लोगों को बीच में जो धारणा है ये, दैट साइकोलॉजी इज समथिंग दैट विल हेल्प अस नो व्हाट द अदर पर्सन इज थिंकिंग, दैट इज नॉट ट्रू। अच्छा, देर आर लॉट ऑफ मेटाफॉर्स दैट वी यूज जो एनसीईआरटी में दिया है, आई एम गोइंग टू टेल दैट वन टू यू। If you have a friend and that friend has gone somewhere, leaves you, that friend, and then there are two metaphors that are commonly used, they are English metaphors. तो एक मेटाफोर तो ये है कि डिस्टेंस मेक्स द हार्ट ग्रो फॉन्डर। आई होप एवरीबडी हैज हर्ड दैट, नहीं भी सुना है तो कोई बात नहीं। एंड इसका मतलब क्या है कि व्हेन यू आर अवे फ्रॉम समबडी यू आर गोइंग टू क्रेव मोर फॉर दैट पर्सन। So if you do, then people will say that this particular metaphor is right for you. That you started craving that person more, you started missing them more when they left you. But on the other hand, if you find another friend, in that case, what is it going to be? Then we have another metaphor for that. Does anybody know? No one? I would insist that you all download the NCRT at least, because and that will help you supplementing the material that we already have. Yeah, okay. जो दूसरा मेटाफोर था वो था कि आउट ऑफ साइट इज आउट ऑफ माइंड। बहुत कॉमन है ये भी, हैबिट्स वगैरह जब पढ़ते हैं तो उसमें आता है। तो आउट ऑफ साइट और आउट ऑफ माइंड मतलब जो नज़र से गया वो दिमाग से गया। तो अगर आपको कोई दूसरा फ्रेंड मिल जाता है, इफ यू फाइंड समबडी एल्स, देन यू विल हैव दैट मेटाफोर स्टैंडिंग ट्रू फॉर यू। So most of our common sensical these logics that we have developed, they are very faulty. They only explain the behavior once it has happened, once it has occurred, right? And that is not scientific at all. Obviously it is very subjective. Okay, now the next person who is going to read, I would want you to start reading from this. I hope my screen is visible to you all.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm. Okay, just go ahead, start. I think Madhu read, right? Then we have Sagar. Is Sagar here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you can read.
Am I too loud or it is okay?
No, this is fine.
Uh, so I have to start from early definitions or definitions of psychology.
Start from definitions only, it doesn't matter.
Psychology has been defined in a number of ways with various authors. Psychologists have been debating on whether psychology should focus on mind, consciousness, or behavior. Let us look at how the definition of psychology has come a long way over the past years. Now we are moving on early definitions. Earlier, psychology was a part of philosophy. Ancient philosophers were interested in the study of the soul, thus it was first defined in terms of the science of soul. However, since the term soul has very wide and comprehensive meaning, it was considered as a vague term and was criticized severely. In the Middle Ages, there were questions regarding the physical physical existence, weight, and volume of soul. Dandapani in 2004 states that people were rather naive to believe in esoteric terms such as soul, mind, and consciousness, and believed, and rightly so, that every human being is endowed with a soul that would remain sublime at all times. To us philosophers, soul is the firm foundation upon which ethical values are erected. Realization of one's soul was considered the chief mission of life. Definition of psychology as the study of soul becomes unacceptable primarily because no convincing proof or evidence of the precise nature of soul was furnished. It was discarded because of its metaphysical nature. It was found inadequate to satisfy the canons of thus the definition wasn't accepted by psychologists. Next, psychology was defined in terms of the science of mind by some ancient Greek philosophers. According to them, psychology was held as a branch of mental philosophy since this definition doesn't include overt behavior of a human being and mind cannot be measured directly. This definition was also dropped by psychologists. Later, psychology was defined as the science of consciousness according to Bhagwan Singh in 1990.
Just a minute, Sagar.
Okay.
Just a minute. Let me give you a background of what is being told over here. Here we saw early definitions. अब we all know, I think सभी को पता होगा ये. Philosophy is the root. And एक और मैं एक extra चीज़ बताती हूँ. Physiology and philosophy, they together brought up psychology. Okay, philosophy was the study of the soul, that is the study of the thoughts and all of these experiences which we cannot see externally. And the Greek philosophers were the pioneers. They were the first to give us the ideas about the soul. And if you study Greek literature, anybody of you will know Plato, Aristotle, all of these, and the goddess, these are goddesses, Psyche, and uh, all of this is in their literature, very much there. So the roots of psychology are very much into Greek philosophy. Ancient philosophers, they gave all of their definitions, and the pioneers were Plato, Aristotle, Descartes. You would have heard, they are very common people. Dandapani is an Indian monk, if anybody of you knows, and you can see 2004, काफी recent है ये. Just a minute, somebody is here. So Dandapani, he is very recent, pretty recent, 2004. He is an Indian monk, and he gave us this elaborate definition. So esoteric terms such as soul, mind, and consciousness, ये ऐसी terms हैं जो common लोगों के दिमाग में इतनी जल्दी नहीं आएंगी. Esoteric means that are very they seem to be very tough to explain to normal people. एंड मेटाफिजिकल नेचर कोई अगर किसी को पता है तो टेक्स्ट कर सकते हो कोई मुझे, ये क्या होता है मेटाफिजिकल, अगर किसी को आइडिया हो इसके बारे में. इसमें
I have
कीवर्ड.
the
हाँ 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 हाँ,
like
प्लीज.
जो हम यूजुअली इमेजिन नहीं कर पाते, आप उनको मेटाफिजिकल कह सकते हो कि जब हम बात करते हैं कि लाइक someone dies and goes to another dimension and so on and so on.
हम्म
So we can't imagine that कि डायमेंशन होगा कैसा है. और या फिर
हम्म
हम अगर बात करेंगे कॉस्मोस में, आप बोल रहे हैं कि आप इस सोलर सिस्टम को इमेजिन करिए कैसा होगा, इस प्लानट को भी कैसा होगा, वी कैंट इमेजिन.
हम्म
So I think they can consider it as
हम्म. ओके, अनीशा इज सेइंग दैट मेटाफिजिकल इज आल्सो अ ब्रांच ऑफ फिलोसफी. ओके, अच्छा. इसको ज़्यादा डीप में समझने की तो ज़रूरत हमें नहीं है, बिकॉज इट इज़ अ कंप्लीट ब्रांच, ये बहुत इलेबोरेट फील्ड होता है. लेकिन इट इज़ अ फिलोसफिकल कंसेप्ट, और फंडामेंटल है ये. ठीक है, और स्पिरिचुअलिटी इससे काफ़ी मिलता जुलता है. तो आप वहाँ से थोड़ा आइडिया ले सकते हो. वैसे तो इसका इतना डीप सिग्निफिकेंस हमारे कोर्स में नहीं है, बट आई जस्ट वांटेड टू गिव यू आइडिया सो दैट यू रिमेंबर द कंटेंट अ लिटिल बेटर. इन केस यू गेट दिस पॉइंट, यू रिमेंबर इट वाइल यू आर राइटिंग योर पेपर, इट विल हेल्प यू. अच्छा, दूसरा फिर हाँ, दिस डेफिनेशन वाज नॉट एक्सेप्टेड. अब सीधी सी बात है, व्हेन वी स्टडीइंग सोल, व्हेन वी आर स्टडीइंग द माइंड, we cannot see the mind. The brain, yes, we can see the brain. And another important point, the brain and the mind, they overlap, but the mind doesn't actually exist physically. वो असलियत में हम उसे पकड़ के नहीं देख सकते, लेकिन ब्रेन, हाँ, या वो हमारे स्कल के अंदर है, वी कैन सी इट. Brain and the mind, their functions overlap. The neural connections, the neural activity in the brain, they together give us the mind that we have, you know. But we cannot actually see the mind. It's the overlapping functions together which happen inside the brain that give us a mind. Okay. अब हम obviously, when we cannot see the mind, we cannot actually observe it. It is excluded from being scientific, because in science we need objectivity. ऑब्जेक्टिविटी का मतलब है कि पर्सनल बिलीव्स और ऐसी चीज़ें जो हम मेजर नहीं कर सकते, विच वी कैन नॉट ऑब्जर्व, दे कैन नॉट बी इंक्लूडेड in the concept of science. So that is why this definition was discarded by psychologists. There, and to remember all of this, there is one line given. I will tell you about it. Okay, science of consciousness. Yeah, we were here, no? Okay, you can read from here. The next person who is supposed to read, they can read from here. Riza, are you there? I think not. Then Sapna is here. No, and then we have. Okay, Ocha. Oh yeah. Oh, all right, all right. Now you're asking me to wait for Riza, no? Ikra, you can start reading. Ikra, are you there? Am I audible? I think Ikra should start reading now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Later, psychology was defined as the science of consciousness. According to Butler and Singh in 1990, at one time during the history of psychology, it was felt that the main business of psychology was with the conscious experience. Consciousness makes us conscious or aware of the situation or a thing around us. This definition too is now obsolete and it has been rejected due to the following reasons. Consciousness cannot be studied objectively as it is more personal and subjective. Second, objection came from the fast developing branch of the abnormal psychology, which brought the study of unconscious part of our mind within the province of psychology. The term consciousness does not include animal or human behavior. The term consciousness also was supposed to have a philosophical tinge and not accepted by the modern scientific minded psychologists. Uh,
Finally.
psychologist. Finally, the modern era has defined psychology as a science of behavior. In early decades of 20th century, Watson, the father of the school of behaviorism, defined psychology as the study of behavior. According to Morgan, in 1986, Watson rejected mind as a subject of psychology and insisted that the psychology be restricted to the study of behavior, the observable or potentially observable activities of people and animals. Watson held the opinion that there are no essential differences between human and animal behavior, that we can learn much about our own behavior from study of what animals do. Watson emphasized that nothing is innate and everything can be learned. In this context, Woodworth in 1948 had earlier stated that first psychology lost its soul, that then its mind, and then lost its consciousness. It still has behavior of sorts. As we will see below, the term behavior is still there in almost all the modern definitions.
Okay. Thank you, Ikra. Hmm. तो then later on science of consciousness की तरह define किया. We said that psychology is the science of consciousness. Now consciousness has a lot of philosophical background. You obviously you cannot observe it as such. You can explain it obviously. Lekin for everybody, for every person, consciousness is a different experience, and we are all at a different levels of consciousness. To reach the highest level of consciousness is to reach enlightenment. Okay, so for everyone it is different, and obviously it is very philosophical. हम इसे ऐसे study नहीं कर सकते because it is very subjective. That is why it was discarded, because it cannot be studied objectively. Okay. All right. Then, yeah, the science of behavior. I know that Watson, okay, the father of the school of behaviorism. You all must know कि Watson से पहले भी there were some people who had given some background of different ways to think about psychology या psychology का subject क्या होना चाहिए. This is important. Psychology was the study of what. This what has been defined by so many people throughout history. And mind you, psychology is a very young science. Psychology is only 138 years old. This is very young. And it is a social science right now, the youngest branch of sciences. So there were a lot of people throughout that period who were giving, and at the same timeline, we see spontaneously, simultaneously, a lot of people are giving their theories. The first one to actually start something in this direction was Wilhelm Wundt. I hope you all know about him. Everybody does. Okay. He started the first lab for psychology. He was a doctor. He was a physiologist, and then his efforts and his student Titchener, their efforts, they together gave us structuralism. I'm just going to discuss a small timeline with you all to give you a background of how things happened. Here they have simply jumped to Watson, but things didn't start from Watson. There was a lot of background to this. And then we can go on to चलो history बाद में है, तो we will study history later only. You can proceed from here. I'll give you the background, but yes, I one thing that I want to tell you is behaviorism is the still the most dominant one. The most dominant school of thought in psychology is behaviorism even now, along with Freud's psychoanalytic methods. Behaviorism is the most dominant one. Okay. Now we have the current definitions. Do you all know who's going to study, who's going to read this part? I'll only tell you. We have Vanita.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, you can start reading, Vanita.
Okay. One sec. I cannot find it.
No problem. No problem.
Okay. Current definition. Hilgard, Atkinson and Atkinson, 1975, have compiled the changing definitions of psychology starting from that of William James, 1890, to that of Kenneth Clark and George Miller, 1970. Bagga and Singh, 1990, have also cited the following two definitions of Woodward and Moon, respectively. Psychology is the scientific study of the activities of the individual in relation to his environment. Psychology today concerns itself with the scientific investigation of behavior, including from the standpoint of behavior to much of what earlier psychologists dealt with as experience. Some of the more recent definitions of psychology in chronological order are as follows.
Just wait, Vanita. All of these definitions are very similar. So I'm just going to ask you to read the last paragraph.
Okay, this one,
Yes, yes. This it is as it is evident.
nature and characteristic of behavior.
Yes, yes. No, 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 no. The part above that, that last one, that is giving us the result.
Huh. As is evident in the above definitions, study of behavior, human and animal, has been emphasized in all of them. In addition, most authors have also included cognitive or mental process in their definitions of psychology. But what is behavior? We will now look at the nature and characteristics of behavior.
Thank you, Anita. Just a minute. Okay. So now we have a definition. Science. Whenever we discuss a scientific, scientific discipline or a scientific field, it is very important to define it, so that we can give the subject of what that discipline is going to speak about. So we now current definition actually gives us a very tangible thing to stick to. that we will be studying the cognitive mental processes and behavior and experiences of humans and animals. Mind you, psychology is also related to animal psychology, is also a field. It is not just limited to humans. So psychology is a science of human and animal behavior, here it is given. And if we reach to the most refined form of it, then we have that's the science that studies behavior and mental processes. Acha, one brief that I want to give you here. Mental processes and behavior in my relation. What is the relation between these two? Behavior is what we see externally, overt, okay. Covert भी होता है. जो covert मतलब जो internal behavior है. That internal behavior is the mental processes. So we're just giving the same thing. Behavior internal is mental processes and external behavior is behavior, as we know. Experiences, this experiences part has been given in the NCRT, which I would refer, I would suggest that you go through that, the first chapter. You will get some more material. Okay, now the nature and characteristics of behavior, this is the important and the interesting part. And okay, we still have time. Good. Okay, the next person to be reading is going to be Nana. Is Nana here? Okay. Okay, if Nana is not here, then Naira, can you read?
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Nature and characteristics of behavior. Behavior is a broad term and a complex phenomenon. In this section, we will discuss the nature and characteristics of behavior. According to psychologists, behavior is everything or anything that a human being or animal does that can be observed in some way. In other words, behavior includes all actions and responses of organisms that can be measured directly or indirectly. Behavior not only means bodily movements but also can include mental and cognitive processes such as feelings, attitudes, thoughts, emotions, and all other internal events, which cannot be observed directly but can be measured indirectly through what people say, vocal behavior, and how they react to different problems and situations. We will now consider some of we will now consider some of the general characteristics of human behavior as described by Panmeshwaram and Veena, 1988 and 2002. These are: behavior is influenced by a number of factors. Behavior is influenced by a number of factors such as biological, cultural, social, environmental, past experience, motivational, emotional, cognitive, example, feelings, emotions, motivation, thoughts, etc. Behavior varies in complexity. Behavior can be as simple as picking a pen, leaving a friend, or reflex responses such as sneezing, etc. Such other behaviors include certain skills which become a habit over a period, such as playing guitar, cycling, etc. Yet some other behaviors involve complex activities like repairing a car. Activities, activities such as landing on the moon, flying a fighter plane, rock climbing, etc. are some of the examples of highly complex behavior.
Just
Factors influence.
give me a minute here, Naira, then you can continue.
Okay, ma'am, sure.
Here, acha. Now we are studying the nature and characteristics of behavior. तो हाउ डू वी मतलब बिहेवियर व्यवहार हमारी इजी लैंग्वेज में क्या होता है आसान शब्दों में बिहेवियर इज हाउ वी आर इंटरेक्टिंग विद आवर सराउंडिंग्स हमारे दिमाग में जो चल रहा है हमारी इंटरनल फिजियोलॉजी में जो चल रहा है और उसकी वजह से माइंड यू आई एम गोइंग टू टेल यू अबाउट दिस वजह से व्हाई डिड आई से दैट उसकी वजह से हमारा जो बिहेवियर आउटवर्ड है ओवर्ट बिहेवियर है वो कैसा है और बाहर की सराउंडिंग्स कैसी हैं जिनकी वजह से अगेन हमारा बिहेवियर ऐसा है बिहेवियर इज आपका व्यवहार आप कैसे फंक्शन कर रहे हैं ऑल द एक्शंस एंड रिस्पॉन्सेज going and drinking water, switching on the fan, these small everything that we have, it is all behavior. Okay. अच्छा, when we go to the general characteristics of behavior, तो अब कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स अगर हम देखें तो सबसे पहला द पॉइंट दैट हैज बीन गिवन इज बिहेवियर इज इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय अ नंबर ऑफ फैक्टर्स इसका मतलब क्या है आसान शब्दों में कि हमारा जो व्यवहार है वो कई चीज़ों से अफेक्ट हो सकता है इंटरनल भी हो सकती हैं वो वजह और एक्सटर्नल भी हो सकती है वजह से राइट इंटरनल मतलब मान लीजिए कि आपकी तबीयत ठीक नहीं है उसकी वजह से आपका व्यवहार इफेक्ट होगा कॉमन सी बात है आई एम एक्सप्लेनिंग इट इन वेरी इजी टर्म्स ओके आपका बाहर सर्दी है बाहर ठंड है तो उसकी वजह से आपका बिहेवियर चेंज होगा। आप क्या करेंगे, कोट पहन लेंगे या कुछ गर्म पहन लेंगे। So behavior is influenced by factors. Factors are these influence that can change your behavior, and behavior has to change. Change is permanent. We will have to adapt. So adaptability needs the behavior to be changed, and the behavior is changing because of factors. All of this is interrelated. Now behavior varies in complexity. अब मैं ये पॉइंट आपको जो बता रही हूँ कि बिहेवियर कैन बी एज सिंपल एज पिकिंग अप अ पेन, जैसे कि मैंने अभी आपको बताया था, गोइंग एंड गेटिंग सम वाटर। बट द कॉम्प्लेक्स एक्टिविटीज, जैसे कि रिपेयरिंग अ कार एंड इवन द वंस लाइक ड्राइविंग अ कार, विच आर स्किल्स, all of them, okay, 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 हाँ हाँ, so rock climbing etc, these skills, every one of them is, it is a kind of behavior. Driving a car, driving a jet, all of these, they are behaviors. Okay, now हाँ
I
तो,
cannot hear anything.
oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. You could have told me earlier. I went on explaining these things to you. Okay, wait. Nature and characteristics of behavior. I'm so sorry. I'm going to repeat all of that to you.
No problem. No.
हाँ, तो नेचर, बिहेवियर क्या होता है, व्हाट इज बिहेवियर? बिहेवियर इज हमारा व्यवहार, हाउ वी आर फंक्शनिंग with respect to our internal environment and our external environment, the actions we are taking, the responses we are giving. If we have a fever, we will act in a particular way. Everybody will act in different way obviously, but we will act, and that behavior that we will display, how we are functioning, that is behavior. Okay, and if bahar sardi hai, if there is cold outside, then obviously you're going to take up some coats or wear something that warms you up. So that is also a behavior. These are responses, these are actions. Okay, and they are observable. You can see a particular organism behaving in a certain way because of internal or external factors, and they will be displayed in the behavior, that is how that organism is responding. Behavior is influenced by a number of factors. Obviously, biological as in the physiological internal factors, like if you have a fever or any hormonal changes that make you behave in a particular way. Cultural factors, how you live in a community, the rules set by the community that you are following. Social, obviously the same thing. And वैसे cultural and social are not exactly same, they are interrelated. And environmental, past experiences, people who have trauma, and motivational, emotional, cognitive, feelings, and all of this. So, all of these functions, these factors, they influence how we behave and how we interact with the external world. And then we have complexity. A behavior can be very simple and very complex, very simple and very complex. Going out and going to the kitchen and getting some water, putting on some warm clothing if you're feeling cold, or you're driving a car, you're driving a fighter jet. All of these are all behaviors, how you're interacting with the external environment. But just look at some, they are so simple, and some of these behaviors that we are displaying, they are so complex, they need higher cognitive thinking to be performed. Okay, now the factors influencing behavior. Okay, now Vanita, you were reading, right?
No, ma'am.
Oh,
Naira.
Naira, okay, okay, Naira, you can continue.
The factors influencing behavior are of different kinds. Behavior influenced by two large sets of factors. Number one, those belonging to the individual and those belonging to the environment. Factors pertaining to an individual can be categorized under physiological, biological needs such as hunger, thirst, etc., and psychological ideas, opinions, attitudes, etc. The environmental factors include physical surroundings, family and friends, the larger society, and even the overall cultural and social background. Individual differences. Behavior also varies from one person to other as well as from one group of people to the other group of people. People differ in their physiological and bodily conditions, in their past experiences, in their abilities, and in their backgrounds, etc. It is therefore natural that if 10 people are put in same situation, each person's behavior differs from that of others, in some respects or in some degrees. Behavior also shows similarities. Though behavior differs from person to person, but this does not mean that all people differ from all others at all times and in all situations. There is also a considerable degree of similarity in behavior among people. For instance, if a particle of dust falls into a person's eye, he slash she tries to remove it. This type of behavior is universally found. Behavior is also purposeful and
Just a
goal-directed.
minute, Naira. I would like to explain these points before we move forward.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So, the factors influencing behavior are of different kind. Very easy, very simple. Obviously, they can be internally the things that are going on inside you, your hormones, or maybe the homeostasis of your body, or anything that is going on that is concerning you. That is the psychological state as well. आप कैसा सोच रहे हैं, आपकी तबीयत ठीक है mentally कि नहीं. And there can be factors which depend on the outside environment that are external to your body, like the temperature outside, the precipitation, is it raining or not, how sunny is it, how warm is it. Okay, so these are two categories. Very very easy. The boundary is your body. Outside your body, it belongs to the environment is going to affect your behavior. Inside your body, the internal homeostasis of your body, that is disturbed, or it is fine, that is going to affect your behavior too. All right. And ये physiological needs वही है, hunger, thirst या कुछ भी. And psychological, I explained that too. Okay, individual differences and similarities, very interesting. um, when I say that individuals have differences, it is very normal to think about this. कि if I have a situation and I put 10 different people in that very situation, all of them might or may not, they may or may not react in a very similar way. Okay, but we know that some of them can be similar and some of them cannot be similar. And from these 2 points, we can easily see that behavior is pretty complex to study. It is not easy to understand behavior, because sometimes people will behave in a similar way in the same situation and sometimes they won't. They will show, large individualistic differences, and sometimes behavior is very stable. It shows a lot of similarities. And individual differences, mostly they are because of your past experiences and the kind of environment you've been brought up. And similarities, these are situational situations where they mostly are very basic, like physiological needs when you're fulfilling them. So behavior in those cases are going to be very similar. Now we are here, Naira can read from this point now.
Behavior is always purposeful and goal directed. Human behavior is always purposeful and one's actions are always directed towards some goal or the other. A boy sitting and studying suddenly gets up and takes a glass of water. Here, the goal is to have a glass of water and the purpose is to quench his thirst. On the other hand, a boy is sitting and studying and feels cold. He gets up and switches off the fan. Here, the goal is to switch off the fan and the purpose is to avoid the discomfort of cold. So, all of our behavior can be categorized under number one, approach behavior, positive goal directed, or number two, avoidance behavior, negative goal avoidance. Behavior is changeable to a large extent. It is mentioned earlier
Just a minute,
that
Naira. This one particular this part, behavior is always purposeful and goal directive. Now we have been given here कि behavior is always towards achieving something. We need to fulfill a particular goal or a target that we have to achieve. So that is where our behavior is intended to. Like if I'm thirsty, I'm going to go to the kitchen, I'm going to get some water. If I'm hungry, I'm going to get some food. If I have to score good marks, I'm going to study right now. So all of these things, my behavior is going to be directed towards something. If I don't study right now, I know I'm not going to get marks. So my behavior is because I'm approaching a target. And they have divided these two in approach behavior or avoidance behavior. Now I want to tell you beforehand, I wanted to learn about these two, but I couldn't find a lot of research papers about them, and most of the papers, they were paid or something. So approach behavior is when you are going and getting a glass of water, and avoidance behavior is when you are switching the fan off. But my question is, if you all would like to think about it in this manner, if it is cold and the boy is going to go and switch the fan off, why doesn't he just take a blanket And if he is going and taking a blanket because he's feeling cold, then that particular behavior is an approach behavior, right? So these positive and negative goal, these theories, they're kind of interlinked in some way. And I hope I'm able to find something in this regard. If I'm able to get some explanation, I'll tell you all. Okay, now Naira, you can. Naira, wait. Who is the next person who's going to read? Even if we like, depends if they are here or not. Acha, हाँ Naira, you only read then.
Alright, I'll continue. Behavior is changeable to a large extent. It was mentioned earlier that a number of factors influence behavior. In view of this, it is possible to change behavior by modifying these factors. It is this changeability which enables a bad person to become a good man and a good man to become a bad man. It is again this very characteristic which helps people to adjust to new surroundings. These changes are the results of one's practice or experiences, learning. Behavior also shows stability, though emphasis has been laid on the possible changes in behavior. It must be mentioned that life is not always full of all sorts of changes. While behavior changes, at the same time, there is also a certain stability in behavior. It does not change with every change in the environment, nor do all forms of behavior change. Human behavior shows a lot of stability. For instance, you may still find your grandmother preferring old ideas and old ways of life, though she is living in an ultra modern society.
Just a minute, Naira. Hmm. So here we have behavior is changeable to a large extent and behavior is also stable. So these are contradicting points, just like I told you about that individual differences we have, and then we have apart from individual differences, the opposite of that is that we. What was the opposite? I forgot. Yeah, individual differences and similarities in behavior. Okay, just a minute. Let me come back. Yes, behavior is changeable to a large extent and behavior is stable. And this is an analogy, like you can remember it better if you connect it to these previous points that we had of individual differences and similarity. Okay, so behavior is changeable to a large extent. Most of our behavior is changeable, like especially when we are young. We can mold ourselves into the kind of situations that we are in, adaptation, and most of it in early childhood, it is subconscious. It is your brain that is making you do all of those things. Most of the time you're not even conscious of what you're doing. So behavior is changeable to a large extent, early childhood, okay, but later on as we go through life, people are able to change their habits. People are able to change their state in what they are, like mentally unhealthy people, they get well. And people who are in prison, or who are not doing very well in life, they are able to change. Positive change is very common to see. Even negative changes are pretty common, but I would like to focus on the positives. And then behavior is also stable. Some people stay the same way. And the best example given here is of the grandmothers, the grandparents that we have. They are from a different era, but even in these times, their thinking and their ideas and their way of perceiving even the modern things, it is pretty similar to how they were thinking in those times. So behavior is stable also. Okay, and this again tells you that behavior is pretty complex to study. All right, now we would move on to the next one.
Should I continue?
Yes, Naira, you can continue. Anybody else who would want to read? If you want to, then you can text me.
Behavior is, inte- Behavior is integrated. As already mentioned, behavior is influenced by a number of factors and a variety of purposes. Every human being has physiological, psychological, personal, and social purposes. He/she has also been the subject of different learning experiences. In spite of all this, behavior always shows an order and a hierarchy of purposes. Every individual behaves as a total person, and this process of the organization of different purposes, different learnings, and different influencing factors result in an integration of behavior. As an individual put in different situations still shows certain characteristic ways and styles of behavior which help us to understand and predict his or her behavior. We often say Ram is a pleasant person, Gobind is an unpleasant person. Krishna is a sociable person, and so psychologists use the term personality to describe this process of integration. The greater the degree of integration in a person's behavior, the more effective her/his behavior is likely to be. It can therefore be appreciated that behavior is a complex phenomenon and studying behavior is not an easy task.
Okay, thank you, Naira. Thank you, Naira. Now, this one is a little complex, so let me explain it. This one is nice. Okay. Hmm. Behavior is integrated. So the thing is that we humans, we are, we have different niches. We have different ways that we have developed. Our social development, our educational development, our personal development. There are different areas where we have become who we are. You're getting my point. Like when we go to school, everybody's experience of being in a school is different, and that kind of gives a background to who they are. Everybody's situation at their home is different, and that gives a background of who they are. So every person has different paths, and there are different niches, there are different areas of how a person is developing. And what is behavior is the sum. When all of these things are integrated, they form that person as a whole. And all of those past experiences from different areas of his or her life, they make him who he or she is, right? And then that person behaves in that particular way. This is I'm giving you this explanation in very very simple terms. Scientifically, psychologists call it personality and personality traits, and all of these personality traits develop to different extents in different areas, different situations of life. So behavior is the sum total of all of such interactions that that person has in different areas of their life. Okay. Okay, now the interesting part is that we have the historical development, and let me check. Do we have time right now? Can you people just text me if you all are comfortable completing this area also today, if you have time? I don't want to I don't want anybody to miss it. Okay, Meher and Naira, they've responded. Okay, Sagar is also agreeing.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Okay, historical development. Okay, okay. Thank you for your responses. It's nice to see you people responding. Okay. Historical development. इससे पहले कि we begin studying this, I want to give you a a very vague background of how things went on in the history of psychology. नाउ वी ऑलरेडी मैंने तो पहले ही बता दिया कि ग्रीक जो फिलोसोफर्स थे, इट इज़ फ्रॉम देयर दैट द फाउंडेशन ऑफ साइकोलॉजी इज लेड फ्रॉम देयर. इट स्टार्टेड ऑफ एज द साइंस ऑफ द सोल, बट लेटर on obviously modern definition is completely different. So the first tangible effect, for the first time, it happened somewhere that psychology was given credit as a subject, was by Wilhelm Wundt. It was in Leipzig in Germany in 1879 that he established the first psychological lab. That was for the first time that it happened. Uh, is anybody hearing a sound that I'm hearing?
Yes.
Yeah, it's gone now. I don't know where it came from anyway. Okay. So William Wundt, he was very much, into studying how the conscious mind works and what are the building blocks of our mind. And matlab, the structure of the mind. He was very much into studying that. And one important point that I want to tell you is that he thought that the mind or a conscious experience, they can be broken down into simpler emotions and feelings. This is not given in our book. I got it from another source, but it will help you in understanding what structuralism was. Okay, so William Wundt, what he when we say that he was, the pioneer or the foundational layer of structuralism, he said that we have to study the conscious experience, and that conscious experience can be broken down into simpler emotions and feelings and thoughts. That is what he thought. And then he had a student. His name was Titchener, and he was a British man. And what he did was that he gave all of these ideas of wound a final shape, and then he created the concept of structuralism, He also believed in these concepts that our conscious experiences can be broken down into simpler aspects like emotions and feelings. And we can also study all of these experiences through introspection or objective introspection. इंट्रोस्पेक्शन मतलब सेल्फ रिफ्लेक्शन ही होता है, मतलब वी आर ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड लुक इन टू आवर ओन थॉट्स विदाउट बायस, विदाउट प्रायर बिलीव्स, विच इज ऑब्वियसली आपको सबको समझ में आ रहा होगा दैट इज नॉट पॉसिबल. अपने ही थॉट्स को हम विदाउट आवर ओन बिलीव्स कैसे एग्जामिन कर सकते हैं? तो दैट मीन्स इट वॉज वेरी सब्जेक्टिव, ऑल्सो वी कुड नॉट बी वेरीफाइड. So um, we can say that Titchener and Wundt, they were like the founding fathers of structuralism. Now जब ये हो रहा था, वूंट एंड टिचनर ये अपनी थ्योरी डेवलप कर रहे थे, इसी के बीच में विलियम जेम्स आ गए. And William James said that I don't like this structuralism, what is going on, I don't want to study this. And he was very much influenced by Charles Darwin. He was very much influenced by his theory of evolution. And he thought कि जैसे different species, they have their natural selection going on, the ones who are stronger and fitter and better, they survive. ऐसे ही the behaviors which enable the survival of a particular community or species of people, that behavior is going to be passed on. So from there he gave this concept that we should study how the behavior is enabling us to function in the environment. So William James gave us the functionalism. ओके. तो इसकी टाइमलाइन देखते हैं. पहले ग्रीक्स आए. ग्रीक्स के बाद जो फर्स्ट टैंजेबल लेबोरेटरी बनी थी वो विलियम वूंट ने बनाई इन 1879. And his student Titchener, they were busy giving us the concept of structuralism. In the meantime, William James came and he gave us the concept of functionalism. Now we move a little ahead from Titchener, we had the Gestalt theory from Max Wertheimer. Now they are all German people, so obviously I have very bad pronunciation of these names, but too easy to understand. He gave us the concept of Gestalt. Gestalt क्या है कि the sum or the total of the components is more than the components itself. या इसका और भी ज़्यादा बेटर मैं एक explanation देती हूँ. Yeah, Gestalt is people naturally like the sum is more than the actual parts which actually constitute that one whole thing. ठीक है. और इसके तो इतने सारे एग्जांपल्स आई विल शो यू दैट यू विल बी वेरी क्लियर. इट इज एक्चुअली Gestalt is very much common in our normal life also. Very very common. Now Gestalt gave that in the early 20th century, and around that time, around the early late 19th century, we had Freud. Now Freud came into the picture, and he was like कि नहीं नहीं ऐसा नहीं होता. This structuralism and this functionalism is garbage. This doesn't happen. All of who we are, it is based upon our unconscious mind, completely the part of us that we do not see. It can be shaped by our childhood experiences. He was very much a supporter of this point that much of our behavior is influenced by how what kind of a childhood we had. And his theory of psychoanalysis is very much common, very much popular, and even right now it is the basis of psychotherapy. And after that we have in 1924, around the time that Gestalt was given, we got the behaviorism, and behaviorism was given by John Watson. And this is the most dominant school of thought in psychology till now. Most of the stuff that we study today, it has come out of this area. John Watson, he was also a doctor. Most of these people who were studying about their doctors. And behaviorism, why did it happen? Like, why did he say ki we should be studying behavior? Because behavior is what is observable. We can see it, we can judge, we can measure behaviors. And from that point on, it then we have had Skinner. He's also a very famous psychologist. All of these people, they developed and gave behaviorism such a common and such a the shape that we have seen today. Right now in present era, we use very different areas, not just behaviorism. We also use functionalism, especially in educational psychology. And gestalt therapy mein we use Gestalt theory. Psychoanalysis is also used. So what we are using currently is an amalgamation of all of these things. Different of these theories, they work well for different concepts. But the dominant field till now is, it is behaviorism. Okay, now I've explained a lot of, the background. Now you'll find it a little easier to understand what went through. और टाइमलाइन अगर किसी को, मैं ना इसका एक इजी सा चार्ट बना के आप लोगों को दे दूंगी, और उसमें आप अपनी डिटेल्स ऐड कर सकते हैं, and it will become easier for you all. Acha. Now you can read. Anybody who would want to read? Naira has been reading for so long. You can text me if you want to read.
Me.
Yeah, Ikra, you can go.
Historical development of psychology. The origin of psychology dates back to 1870s. The term psychology is derived from two Greek words. Psyche means soul or breath, and logos means knowledge or study, study or investigation of something. The word psychology was not in common use before the 19th century, and the field of psychology did not actually become an independent science until the middle of 19th century. Psychology emerged as an independent academic discipline in 1879 when a German professor, Wilhelm Wundt, established the first psychology laboratory at the University of Leipzig. Germany. According to Bose, 1993, Wundt was a medical doctor by training and early in his career he was fortunate to work with some of the great physiologists of the 19th century. Can you roll down?
Sure.
The intellectual roots of psychology lie at the union of philosophy and physiology. Wundt is traditionally recognized as the founder or father of modern psychology. The year of 1879 is seen as a remarkable year when psychology finally emerged as a unique field. Prior to Wundt, it was not possible to major in psychology because there were no official psychologists or psychology departments. Wundt started studying the structure of mind, which referred the immediate conscious experience, the content and processes of subjective experience such as sensations, thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Psychology as a science. Psychology has been defined as a science of behavior, but is it a science like physics, chemistry, biology, and zoology, or something different? In this section, we will look at some of the definitions of science. We will also discuss the nature and characteristics of science and understand psychology as a science. Let us look at the following definition of science. Science is a systemized body of knowledge gathered through carefully observing and measuring events. Morgan in 1986. Science is an approach to knowledge based on systematic observation. Leahy in 1998. The sole aim of science is to classify, understand, and unify the objects and phenomena of the material world by using a combination of accurate observation and experimentation, logic, and intuition. Scientists seek to understand the rules that govern all levels of natural universe. Let us know. Let us now look at the different characteristics of science. Characteristics of science. The observation of events are systemized
Wait a
in
minute,
various
Ikra.
ways.
Yeah, you can read after I give you some points regarding this part. साइकोलॉजी एज साइंस, अच्छा, ये जो हिस्ट्री हिस्टोरिकल डेवलपमेंट ऑफ साइकोलॉजी है, यहाँ पे इट इज़ वेरी शॉर्ट एंड आई हैव ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लेन गिवन यू अ लॉट ऑफ बैकग्राउंड, so you won't find it hard. And there is one article that Meher has shared with me, and I think she will share there too, and you all can go through it. That will help you all. एंड हिस्टोरिकल डेवलपमेंट ऑफ साइकोलॉजी खत्म कर दिया हमने, उसके बाद हम साइकोलॉजी एज अ साइंस, व्हाट इज साइकोलॉजी एज अ साइंस. Psychology is still, a lot of people who are like us, we are doing BA, Bachelor of Arts in Psychology. There is BSc also in psychology. Okay, so psychology is given a, a place in both sciences and arts as well. Arts mostly because it is applied field. Arts has those subjects that help us in solving problems, and science is mostly research and understanding and observing. So initially it was thought that psychology is not a science, but now since the modern psychology that we study today, it has a lot of scientific background. Everything is studied scientifically, and since the dawn of behaviorism, where the emphasis was laid on systematic. objective observation and objective study of psychology. Since then, psychology has been regarded as a science too. Now, and I already told you, it is very young, a very young science. It is still considered a social science. Okay, all of these other sciences that we have, physics, chemistry, these are physical sciences. Then we have life sciences, biology, zoology, botany, all of that. साइंस, अब हम कैसे बताएंगे कि हाउ विल वी से दैट साइकोलॉजी इज अ साइंस? वी कैन ओनली से दैट व्हेन वी नो व्हाट साइंस इज, एंड साइंस हैज सम पर्टिकुलर criterias, and if psychology fits into those criterias, then it is also a science. तो वो characteristics क्या हैं? What are those characteristics that we are going to go through now? And I think now she should read. Ikra should read now.
Empirical observation. Like other disciplines of science, the discipline of psychology rests on experiment and observation rather than on argument, opinion, or belief. Systematic approach and theory. Data from observations and experiments are essential to science in order to make some sense in helping us to understand events. The scientist tries to find a limited number of principles which will summarize the data economically. Like other scientific theories, psychology also follows a systematic procedure of observation, data collection, analysis, and interpretation. Measurement. Another disintegration feature of many sciences is measurement, defined as assignment of numbers to objects or events according to certain rules. Physics is ranked highest, most scientific among the sciences as it has developed the most precise measurements. Definition of terms. Careful definition of terms is essential to clear thinking in science. The procedure in psychology is to define concepts by relating them to observable behavior operational definition. When we define our concept operationally, we define it in terms of measurable and observable operations. For example, the concept of length, height in physics, and concepts like intelligence, motivation, personality in psychology are defined in terms of observable operations which can be performed to measure them. However, psychology cannot measure many behaviors such as bravery, friendship, love, beauty, etc. As these cannot be defined operationally. The above characteristics are common to all sciences, including psychology. However, psychology is a different type of sciences, behavioral science. In physics or chemistry, researchers investigate processes and events which remain stable and constant to a large extent. This makes it possible to measure and predict with a reasonable degree of accuracy, but it is not the case with human behavior, which is highly complex, not easily controllable, and appears to be much more unpredictable than the reactions of physical and the chemical substances. Whereas other sciences investigate things around man, psychology studies man himself. The method used in psychological research includes observation, interview, psychological testing, laboratory experimentation, and statistical analysis. Thus, psychology is categorized under the youngest group of scientific inquiry, the social or behavioral sciences, which also includes subjects like anthropology, economy, education, geography, history, linguistics, sociology, etc., rushed in 1972. The first group of sciences are the physical sciences, which include subjects like physics, chemistry, etc. Next in the biological or life sciences that include such subjects as biology, botany, zoology, etc. The application of knowledge to practical problems is an art. It is the skill or knack for doing things, which is acquired by study, practice, and special experience. Since principles and laws of psychology are applied to solve human problems in a number of situations, families, schools, organizations, environment, as well as treating behavior disorders and emotional problems, it is also an art.
Thank you, Ikra. Yeah, this is the last part, and I'm going to give you a brief about it. Characteristics of science. सबसे पहली बात तो हमें ऑब्जर्व करना पड़ेगा. If we are studying something as a science, we need to observe. Observation is critical. कैसा फ्लो क्या होता है? हाइपोथेटिक वो डिडक्शन मॉडल यूज होता है साइंस में when we are studying something. When it has to follow a scientific way, what we have to do first, we have to observe it. That is empirical observation. And then of all the observational data, it is supposed to be organized in a particular way, that is systemic approach and theory. Then that theory is developed. Okay. And then we measurement is also a part of it. After that organization of that data, we are going to form the results, and those results are going to form a they are going to be checked. The hypothesis is going to be checked. There is a hypothesis that is formed after all of these theories are given, and then those hypotheses are checked. The results are seen. The results positive भी हो सकते हैं, they can be negative also. In whatever direction those results are going, we will move and conduct our research further in that direction. This part has been given in the NCRT. You all can refer to it. अच्छा, सिस्टमैटिक अप्रोच का मतलब देयर हैज टू बी एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल वे ऑफ conducting those observations and conducing that data. Then we have measurement is very crucial. Obviously we need to have a particular a set of standards set for all of these things that we are studying, especially in if you go for physics, that is the most scientific field, the most scientific subject. It has the most precise measurements. जितना ज़्यादा precision आता है उतना ज़्यादा accurate हमारे results होते हैं, और जितना ज़्यादा accurate, the more accuracy our results will have, the more better we'll be able to perform, the more better we'll be able to predict some phenomena that is happening either in the environment or within us. Then we have definition of terms. आई ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू इन द वेरी बिगिनिंग, डेफिनेशन बहुत एसेंशियल होता है. हमें पता होना चाहिए कि हम स्टडी क्या कर रहे हैं. अगर हम किसी साइंस को स्टडी कर रहे हैं तो वी शुड नो द सब्जेक्ट मैटर ऑफ व्हाट एक्चुअली वी आर स्टडीइंग. दिस इज रिलेटेड टू दैट. अच्छा, ऑपरेशनल डेफिनेशन अगर आप पूछें कि डिफाइन कंसेप्ट्स बाय रिलेटिंग देम टू ऑब्जर्वेबल बिहेवियर. So how I we don't know how bravery, friendship, and how love and beauty, how all of these can operate with the environment externally. So we cannot measure them, and that is one of the biggest problems that we have with psychology presently. But there are other ways to measure psychological phenomena like personality tests and interviews that have been given here. So, as I already told you, social sciences या behavioral sciences में we have psychology, the youngest group, only 138 years old it is. And also this scientist over here, Rush, I think I can tell you about this one thing here. Rush in 1972 he gave us this theory of transactionalism also. Transactionalism means कि the growth of a field depends on other fields, and psychology is a hub science. हब साइंस से मेरा मतलब ये है कि ऑल द फाइंडिंग्स एंड ऑल द रिसर्च दैट वी आर कंडक्टिंग इन साइकोलॉजी दैट इज यूज्ड इन अ लॉट ऑफ अदर फील्ड्स. बहुत पता होगा आप लोगों को तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल साइकोलॉजी, इंडस्ट्रियल साइकोलॉजी होती है दैट इज यूज्ड इन कॉर्पोरेट. And we have educational psychology, the psychology that of children, all of these school psychology we have. So psychology has migrated into very different areas of sciences. It has affected the growth of other fields, and the growth of other fields has in turn affected the growth of psychology also. So this inter kind of relation that is going on between these fields, that is known as transactionalism. I think we are going to study that in the next unit. Acha. So I think हाँ, आर्ट मैंने बताया. प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम्स whenever we are using a particular subject matter, a particular skill to solve a practical problem, it is considered to be an art, and that is why psychology, since it is used to solve a lot of issues currently, if we go for therapy, or if we go for um, other things, like we can solve organizational problems using the industrial or organizational psychology, all of these things, and we are using it as an art. So that is why it was considered an art, but now it has become so advanced, using scientific background, that it is now considered a science also. ओके, तो सम अप क्या पढ़ना है? अभी तो हमने इतना पढ़ा है. आई थिंक यू ऑल गॉट दिस. यू कैन गो थ्रू द ग्लॉसरी ऑन योर ओन. अच्छा, if you guys now, I think we're done with the chapter. If any of you want to share something, and if you have something in your mind that should be shared with all of us, then you can tell me in the text box. I'll take your name and you can go and follow a particular order if anybody of you is interested. Yes, yes, we're just going to, yeah, Jigmet, we're just going. Just for 10 minutes, um, is anybody who there who wants to say something? No? Okay. Okay, okay. So thank you all for being here uh, with me and for going through all of this stuff. Now, since we are also isolated, it can be a little hard to maintain the flow of studies. It will take a lot of willpower to study on your own. So bear with me, and slowly and gradually we are going to move ahead into more complex topics. I think the discussions are going to be much more diverse and much more interesting. Today there was not
Thank
much to
you.
discuss. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. All of you are very much. I'm very thankful to you all that you are giving me this opportunity, and we're studying together. It means a lot. And I hope you have a good day. And I hope you all revise this. मैं भी revise कर लूँगी इसको. And the next thing we are going to do in the next session, we are going to start the next chapter. अच्छा, मुझे कुछ एक्टिविटीज मिलती हैं इफ आई फाइंड समथिंग दैट इज रिलेटेड टू द फर्स्ट चैप्टर दैट कैन हेल्प यू इन ग्रास्पिंग द मटेरियल इवन बेटर. I'll share that resource with you. Meher has already shared one. Thank you, Meher. Okay, so thank you very much for being with me. I enjoyed this session a lot.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, bye bye.